What's going on, Fire Hose Live? Here we go. Here we go. Anthony here. And, what we do inside of this show is just really to bring you a tremendous amount of value and then give you a gold nugget. If there's one nugget that you get out of this show from the pros and specialists that we bring on, then so be it. Right. And the speed of implementation is critical. Once you get something, implement it right away. Right. Because it's better to fail your way to success than to just stay halted with our feet in the concrete. So today we have Scott on. And Scott, he's the owner of two CrossFits out. He's got one in Seattle and one in Mount Shasta. And we're going to talk about the family culture that is so critical. And he's going to talk about that. And here, let me see if I can get him on here. Right. Yes. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. He's knocking. He's knocking. He's knocking. He's coming in. He's coming in. Scott, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. Welcome home. Welcome to the Fire Hose Live Show, man. Excited to have you on.
Oh, man, I appreciate you having me. Appreciate it.
Man, absolutely, man. And you know what I was just telling everyone, just giving a little bit of your bio, man, and what you've been able to create inside of your two facilities. Inside of your gyms, and it's just powerful. I remember us speaking, just for about 10 to 15 minutes, and you were talking about that family culture that you've been able to create. And we talked about too as well, like being gym owners, right? The first gym you ran, it was obviously took you a good amount of time to kind of build it because you're jumping in, right? We're just a trainer that just wants to change people's lives, but then all these other things that have to come to run a business, right? Like monetizing and scaling, and you know what I mean? You get hit hard with that and you learn as you go, right? But I mean, it's powerful. You're on your second gym now, and that gym has just sprouted, very, very quickly. You've been able to systematize it and make those moves. And I know there's a lot of different things that we can speak about that you've done a really, really great job with, you know what I mean? And I would love to have you on another show. I'm already going to throw that out there already, man. We'll have you again on here, man. But
I'd love to be there.
Yeah. But the family culture, man, that's what I wanted to, speak about and talk about and give some insight on. But before we get into that, for you, who has been the biggest influence in your life and why?
I think I'm gonna put that out there. My dad's been my biggest influence. Just as I was little, big things that was important was it didn't matter. When it came to sports, it didn't matter if we won. And that doesn't get confused with everybody gets a trophy kind of a thing. That's not that type of mentality. It was, did you have fun and did you give it all? And he was a hard worker, and he's still a hard worker, and so without even understanding that growing up, he totally instilled that into me. And now, I'm a husband and I'm a father, and hard work is easy. Hard work is easy. That's the thing that he gave me. And, my hope is to do that for my kids, that hard work's easy.
Absolutely. What a strong thing to pass down, right? That hard work's easy, being able to see that in your father, and then now being able to, implement that in everything that you're doing, man, across the board. And it's obviously paying off, right?
Yeah.
And
because as a gym owner, Anthony, right? Like, you rise when everybody rises, and then you go to bed, man, when everybody has already been in bed, So, that part, man, that's that whole rise and grind, and gym owning and business owning isn't for everybody. And that's why not everybody does it.
100%, man. I mean, you're right on. I get that feel, man. I've been pushing some 18-hour days lately, some have become right, not because I want to, because I have to, but then others it's starting to turn into where I'm not having to, right? It's just something I really love to do.
Totally.
But tell us a little bit about your topic, right? Creating that family culture inside of the gym.
Yeah, man. I think over time it just started to develop, and it's who I am. And I didn't, I didn't realize that in the beginning. I thought this was easy for everybody. I thought everybody did this, and that's not how it is, And so when I started in a boot camp, man. I started in a park, and it was with 8 ladies, you know, and right off the get-go, you know, we would high five, you know, we'd high five for being there, high five for finishing up and whatnot. And then little by little, I started to realize these things that I already had within me that was now implementing into my people. You know, my people then started high-fiving people, you know. Anthony, you walk into the door, I'll be the first person to welcome you. And let's just say my back's turned to the door and I don't see you. Well, now other people are now welcoming you before you ever get to me, you know. And again, man, this was stuff that I didn't realize that I was doing. And it was just simply me leading my own culture and then implementing into everybody else that was an athlete, you know? And so however I made them feel, they were totally paying it forward into the new people in the gym or the people that have been just walking through the gym, you know, looking for some answers to, you know, whatever they're trying to ask for, you know?
Absolutely. And, you know, I love that, Phil, right? Because a lot of the things that we're implementing, right? We don't even know that we're really implementing, but they're so important inside of that process, right? Like
totally.
That when they're walking in, the prospect, you know, they may be on a trial and they're walking in, and obviously they're feeling like, what the heck's going on? They're weighing the pros, they're weighing the cons. They're like, what is this? They're fearful. They're probably scared. They've heard so much different things about this, you know, fitness and health thing and not knowing what to do, you know. I mean, and to have that where they're getting a high five from all the other clients before. So now we're talking about on a big level. Now we're talking about, you know, owning your business, right? And running two gyms now, you know what I mean? And running them very successfully. That's something is critical. Why is it so critical for that and to create that? Because like you said, in other gyms, that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, you know, the critical part is that now you can't be in 2 places, you know? So now Scott's not in Seattle. Scott's primarily in Mount Shasta, you know, and I go up to Seattle every 4 weeks. Like, it's in my calendar, you know, and I go up there every 4 weeks and I'm there for a solid 3 days. And then, you know, I get back on the plane and I fly back to my California location. I can't be there, you know, and what I created in Seattle, you know, it was there for 7 years, because we just hit like our like 8 years in October.
Congratulations.
But yeah, dude, thanks, man. It's like February now, so that's not even past that. You know, so, you know, right when I left, it was kind of shell shocked a little bit. You know, we didn't lose anybody because I left, but everybody would like message me, or then we go out to have coffee and whatnot. They'd be like, you know, it's not like, you know, it's not the same without you here, and it's not like, it's like you're not here. And I said, you know, I'm not there, you know. But what was important is that everything that I built in Seattle is still being implemented. You know, when you walk through our door, Anthony, you know, our athletes will high five you. Our athletes will welcome you, and immediately they'll say, hey, just show up, you know. And that's what I said. That's what I've been saying, man, for like over 8 years. Like, the rule to success, one of the things I put out there is you just got to show up, you know. Like, everybody needs a coach, right? Like, I have a business coach, you know. I tell all my athletes, you guys all need coaches. If I need a coach, you need a coach, you know. And when you just keep on implementing that and putting that into people's souls, and know, all I got to do is show up, and then Scott's going to take over. Or all I got to do is show up, and, you know, Coach Joe's going to take over, you know. And knowing that we have their best interest, not what we want to do for them, you know. Not like I want that person to be losing 50 pounds, and now that's what I'm going to do. If their goal is to lose 50 pounds, cool, then that's my goal, you know. If their goal is just to feel better in their bathing suit come beach season, right, that's my goal. And, you know, I found this, it was another epiphany that I've been having, but is that I mold my personality to the person that walks through the door, you know. We just have a 6-week group going on right now, and I have some really tough people walking through the door, like really hard people. And I've realized that, you know, I have to talk tough with them, You know, you know, it's not like a drill sergeant or anything, but you just gotta kind of form that and just be tough. Talking mindset stuff with them doesn't really work. You know, they've got a strong mind already, but you start saying like, what's your why? You know, that starts getting too feely for them. They don't want to hear that. Then you have the far right person that comes in and they're just super scared, you know? So you start talking a little softer with them, you know, like, hey, don't even worry about this, you know? I'll tell you what to do today, and then you'll be done, you know? And so that's a huge thing, because all people in a family are not the same, you know, but you still have to know how to communicate with each other, you know? And so I think that culture part, you know, of knowing not everybody's the same, because I think one of the flaws is, you know, you go to some gyms or some fitness facilities and they think you're just a bro, or you're just I don't know, are girls called bros? Like, you know, but just that bro mentality. And that's not true. Not everybody's like that, you know? My mom, she's 71. She comes in our gym and she's not a bro, you know? So you got to talk to her differently, you know? And so having that skill set, learning, you know, how to work with people, how to be emotional with people, or how to form your emotions with that person, that's huge. That's really huge.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a neuro-linguistic programming, right?
There you go. There you go.
But I mean, it's genius, right? It's genius to be able to have that in the moment, right? And have that certain personality come, and you're being able to speak to them the way they want to be spoken to.
Totally. Right? Totally.
That's huge. That's huge. What's one of the reasons why gym owners fail at this, right? Just fail at creating a family culture?
Dude, that's a good question. I think the reason they fail is because, like, let's be honest, this is a stressful business, you know? At the end of the day, you know, you have to make sure that you're paying your bills, you're paying your coaches, paying yourself, you know, like, for all you husbands out there, you know, you got to go back and you got to make sure that your wife, you know, has your paycheck, you know? And I think that's what starts to kind of derail people, because they start stressing on the financial part.
Wow, that's good.
You know, and it's not because they don't have what it takes, because they definitely already have what it takes. But it's that part, you know? And I think the other part, I was kind of hinting on it a little bit earlier, is that they don't reach out for help, you know? They don't reach out to have a coach. They don't reach out for mentorship. They don't, you know, try to broaden their own horizon, you know? And, you know, you can put that into a personal trainer, not out, you know, doing extra curricular, you know, fitness stuff or learning stuff, you know? The other part could be just not being humble on it, thinking that they have to know everything, you know? So I don't think there's one thing that makes that happen, but I think eventually that one thing is that thing, you know? So that's Maddox in the back.
Yeah, Maddox, what's going on, man? He's ready to get on camera. He's ready. He sees Daddy working hard.
Right?
He wants to be a part of it. He's already part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
What a great father. And I love how you put that inside of your bio, too. You know what I mean? Because it is that's the most powerful, right? You know, is that
Good.
One of the things that I see that, you know, before I go into anything, whether I'm fearful or, you know, I'm excited, whatever's going in, and I see my kid's face before I go into it, you know?
There you go.
I always think in my mind, like, okay, you know, is this gonna, what I'm about to do right now, is this gonna bless my kids, right?
Yep.
Or is it gonna take time away from them?
Totally.
It makes it very simple for me. Like, okay, this is something that I need to do, or this is something that I don't need to do, you know?
Dude, yep. Yeah, man, if somebody hasn't read that one book, Essentialism, have you read that book yet?
I haven't. I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah. Man, I'm lacking on the dude's first name, but his last name is McCown or something like that. And it comes down to that whole thing right there. And if it's a 90%, this goes to anything, business, family, friends, whatever. If it's not a 90%, you know, it's not a full-on commitment yet, but it's not a 90% yes, then it's a no, you know? You know, if I always use this analogy is that, you know, it's after work, you've been at work all day, you know, your buddies and only your single buddies ask you to go out and do something at night when you've been away at work because they don't realize the other part. You know, They're like, hey, man, let's go grab some dinner. I'm like, no, because I haven't seen my wife all day, nor I haven't seen my kids all day. So that's a no, you know, if any of that stuff, man, because like, you know, I was putting on a little post earlier today is that like time is totally money. And if hanging out with your family or hanging out, whatever, you know, all of that equals out to being value, you know, and that's the other part. I think the other part with the whole failure part is we weigh so much on one side, and that could be weighing so much more on just hanging out. I just want to hang out because I'm a business owner now. I just want to chill. Your business is probably not going to do well. You know, if you're so much on that business thing, business, all your personal is gone, you're going to probably fail in this area. And probably too much stuff if you're just focusing on your business, you're probably not winning, you know? So again, like I'll fault on all of this, you know, until you find that equal balance. And again, like as an entrepreneur, right? Like balance is hard just in general. But anyways, you know, like maybe that even keel, like if I'm thinking about business all the time, and I'm thinking about making that dollar all the time, because eventually in the end part, you know, my family benefits. But if my family's not benefiting right now because I'm so much over here, there's something out of whack. So you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
The present stress takes over everything, you know, and the trick is figuring out how do you even keel that.
Absolutely. Scott, tell me how, like, so I'm in Mount Shasta right now. I'm coming into your gym, right?
I was gonna say, dude, you're here?
Yeah. I'm walking in and I want to get a feel of that. I'm going to see that family culture. What do I see when I walk in your gym, right? What's happening? What are your trainers doing that's making me feel at home? And I'm just a prospect right now. I'm coming in on a trial, right? Or I might be doing it 6 week. I'm thinking about being a part of it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I am running on the 6 week thing.
Sure.
What do you do to be able to create that quick where they become?
So I'll set the scene real quick. So right now, like in the other room, like my group of people that I train with every day, they're training right now. Okay. They're the people that are probably a little bit more fit, probably in better shape than the rest of our membership, right? Now, even though they're had the most experience, they're in the best shape, and so let's say somebody comes in and they're like 50 pounds overweight, right? They're going to walk through that door over there, and it's going to be really intimidating.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So with intimidation is usually, if we're interacting with people, it's usually the lack of interaction and just a lot of silence, you know, and a lot of lack of emotion on your face, you know. Well, you're going to walk through that door, and somebody is going to come up to you and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Scott." You know, right off the get-go. Because what's happening in there, there's some rowers in there. There's probably barbells moving. I haven't heard any move yet. There's pull-up bars. There's not the traditional, you know, treadmill or whatever, right? There's no those machines. It's just an open area with black mats and a lot of equipment. They're like, I've never seen that equipment before, you know? So the intimidation factor is there because it's unknown, right? But, you know, you're going to see people laughing. You're going to see people, you know, working out with each other. You're going to hear people saying, "Hey, keep it up, Elijah, keep it up," you know, while I'm in the middle of a workout and I'm still suffering, you know. You're going to see a lot of just hard work. People that want results but, like, just love hard work, they're going to be in there, you know. And not everybody wants to do hard work, you know. So, but anyways, just kind of going back to your question, like, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a big open room, a lot of stuff going on, you know. But even though there's a lot of stuff going on, somebody's going to come up to you and introduce themselves to you and say, all you got to do is show up, you know. And they'll just start a conversation, you know. They're not just going to say, "Hey, how you doing?" and walk away. They're going to make sure that if you have a question, hey, Scott, this person's got a question over here. Or, you know what? Like, we're all about, like, empowering all of our athletes also to then, there's classes, you know, on Monday and Wednesday at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. You know, like, they know these stuff, right? So they can start kicking out information too. So,
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you run any other types of like set events where you get people involved and get them together to create that family? Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's funny you just said that. Okay, so this is my newest thing is I went and visited my cousin and this is traditional. Like I've seen this stuff happen before, but it's called like Bring a Friend Day, right? So like if anybody out there is not doing this, like you need to start this, okay? But what I did is I did it a little bit of step further is I'm doing it every Saturday, okay? So then I did a little bit further from there. I opened it up to not just, athletes, friends, but like our entire community, okay? Mm-hmm. Then I took it a little bit further and I contacted the local newspaper and I just said, hey, first of all, I've been talking to them for like a year about this, getting a fitness corner in the newspaper and not branding it to me, but because you're your brand, so that's that sneak way that you get in. But not branding your company, but branding you as the fitness professional, and that. So, anyways, that conversation has been going on. But the thing that I recently just did is 2 weeks ago, I messaged him and said, "Hey, I've created this program, and we're calling it the Community Movement Project." And it's a 9 o'clock class on Saturdays, every Saturday. And so what I've done is I've committed myself to this for the next like 3 to 4 months. So that's what I've committed myself to, because it might be a flop. People might not show up, but I'm still committing myself to do it, and eventually it'll start to grow. And so last Wednesday, today's what, Friday? The Wednesday prior, it was in the newspaper. Community Movement Project, 9 a.m., Scott Rodriguez at Stoneway CrossFit. And I started getting these phone calls. Now, mind you, Mount Shasta is a population of like 3,300 people.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big ski, big mountain, big active community, but a lot of retiring people, right? So I started getting these calls from these older people. Hey, I hear you're doing a senior citizen program. Well, in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not. But I'm so excited for you to be here because I want to help you move better, And the gal I said, what intrigued you? And she goes, oh, well, I need to move, I need to do some exercise. And the price point's perfect. It's free, by the way. And so you know what? I just started getting these calls from these older people. But again, it's a community movement project where I want people to come in. Other people were asking me, said, hey, well, what happens when, 30 people, 50 people start showing up? I said, well, then we open up a class, or we actually have a cutoff where people have to register, and we can't serve everybody, but it's one day out of the month or out of the week. And then eventually, who knows? It could probably turn into memberships, It could probably turn into personal training. It could probably turn into eventually a revenue. And so anyways, that's my thought, man. I'm just going to give, then I'll ask for the sale, Give, ask for the sale. So.
Yeah, man, that's some good stuff. I really like that Saturday feel. I mean, we have a Saturday boot camp that we do. I did one I started one about 7 years ago. And
oh, nice.
We started off with like 4 people, and then all of a sudden it was at about 200 people within 2 months. It was nuts.
Whoa.
It was nuts. And we grew that, and then from there.
How'd you do that? Message me about that, man.
Yeah, I could definitely connect with you, man. I mean, I was looking at some point writing a book on it and then creating it down the beach, because we were doing it on the beaches and just having it on beach places. It can go anywhere though, obviously, right? Yeah. But that free community camp, and then we have like in the beginning of it, you have your introduction. Hey guys, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, get everybody warmed up and all that. But at the end, you have the 4 keys. And the 4 keys would be a nutritional talk, just real quick, like 3 to 5 minutes on, what nutrition we suggest that you eat, or we'll be talking about a supplement. Then we have a business of the week to tie everybody in, right? Because there's people out there that are running different types of businesses. So it's a great way to network. So they're able to come out and talk about their landscaping business, or they're able to talk about the real estate business, right? And it's all free, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the passion of the week, which is usually you'd have your client come up and speak, or a member that's already inside the boot camp to talk about where they were at before the way of life, right? Where they're at now and where they're going, right? So you hear some amazing stuff like you've heard from your clients. Hey, I lost 50 pounds at Stoneway, you know, and on top of that, you know, I was getting over, I had cancer, and I was able to go into, you know, the amazing things we hear, right?
Yep.
And so
Yep.
sharing that to the group, right? And so that's reflecting back to the group of them being like, wow, you know, like I want to be a part of this movement, right? and then we ended off with the wellness talk, just a quick motivational talk that I would do for like 4 or 5 minutes. You know, I talk about desire or dedication. And so it was a great way of, like you said, you know, branding yourself. So people come up and go, I want to know more about, right, Stoneway, or I want to know more about Way of Life, or whatever the gym is, right? And we made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of it. But more importantly, it was, and a lot of great connections too. I got business partners from it and everything. How I got my book written was how I got into the consulting with Lisa Nichols, she's a huge public speaker, was through the Saturday boot camp, right? So
get out of here. Yeah.
But it was all on purpose through that, you know what I mean? And I mean, you're on the right way with that, you know, as far as creating a red carpet for people to be a part of what you're doing, you know?
Totally.
Absolutely.
You know, the last part I was thinking is kind of what I was talking about, how I'm just committing myself to this for like 3 to 4 months, is we start a kids program. And kids programs usually in kind of my line, well, in our line of work, but especially with CrossFit, that it's not a really big producing entity of one's gym. And what I did, and this would be something really good for anybody out there, is to let me go back for a second. I partnered with a charter school. Mm-hmm. And so I am actually now, you know, what do they call? A vendor. So that school pays for their kids to come to my gym and to get, you know, PE, to get physical activity. Mm-hmm. You know, so, you know, I started this in September. In September, it was, you know, Monday, Wednesday, 4:15 to 5 o'clock. You know, and it started off with, you saw Maddox and Ava in the back, right? Mm-hmm. So it started with them and then shortly after that, 2 other people. So we had 4 kids, right? Since September. Okay.
Yep.
We're now into February. We're now officially locked in with this charter school, and we have, like, how many people we have the other day?
Like I think it was 13.
Yeah, I mean, we had like 13 kids. Right? Like that's times 3, right?
Yep.
Of our 4, and 2 of those are my kids, you know? They don't realize that the value they get, by the way. The kids were in the backyard the other day, and one of the girls, my daughter's friend, said, hey, you know, do I have to pay for a membership? And my daughter's like, no, you don't have to pay for a membership. So anyways, but it grew the kids population up, and it's bringing more revenue into the gym. But again, my whole point of that is you get the parents, you get the kids in, you eventually probably gonna get the parents in. You're not gonna get all the parents, but I'm gonna say probably 1, 2, maybe 2 out of 10 parents, you got to get them through the door. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? So anyways, that then creates the whole culture, the family culture, is that if you're a family culture, but if you have kids in your gym, you're going to have youth in your gym. You're going to have play in your gym. You know, you're not just going to have that sternness in your gym of mm-hmm. just athletes, you know, mm-hmm. But you're going to have fun in your gym, you know. Mm-hmm. So, and, you know, and as just being a dad, it was easy to make this one of my requirements in my setup, is that we're going to be a family gym, you know. And that was huge, because we started, and this kind of falls along the whole family thing, is that, you know, we created this free childcare for our members. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m., that's our 9 o'clock class, we have free childcare. Now, we paid the babysitters, obviously, but it's free. So, like, you know, that single mom, that single dad, the mom whose husband works and is home all day with the kids has an outlet for an hour, and vice versa. You know, the husband that's got the kids, and there's, you know, you can't get out to go work out, you know, like, there's no excuses, you know. Mm-hmm. My mentor, Di Manuel, he's got an awesome book out right now, and I think it's his most recent ebook, and it's why your kids are making you fat.
That's good.
And the whole thing comes back into that thing. It's you think that because your kids have soccer, that's a reason for you to get fat. Or without even realizing it, you're telling me your kids got soccer and ballet, and you're still complaining that you're getting fat and you don't know the answer. Like, let's break that down real quick. You know, let's reverse engineer that, you know? And some of my big stuff, and we talked about this earlier, but we can talk about it later also. But like Mindset Monday, every Monday, I got my Mindset Monday that comes out. And the big thing that I kind of put across to everybody is that you are more important than me, you know? And once people start taking care of them, they start taking care of other people, you know? And that whole culture, like we'll circle it right back to the whole family culture, you know? If I'm taking care of me, I'm going to have enough, you know, bandwidth to invest in you, you know? People that are in there are taking care of they're taking care of themselves. You know, that stress level goes down, that whatever goes down, that confidence goes up. Well, then they got time to stop what they're doing and be like, hey, how are you? You know? So
that's absolute, man. I mean, it's so simple, but so absolute and so real, you know, so true. What would you say in closing? Like, what's one thing that you would, that we may have missed as far as the family culture that you guys are doing inside of Stoneway that's making it so unique? In closing, what do you think is maybe one thing that we may have missed, or did we hit everything?
You know, I think we hit a really good lot of good stuff, man. I think the biggest part that we as like fitness professionals need to realize is that, and a lot of us probably already understand it, or we say it, but maybe don't fully understand it, is that, I mean, fitness is the catalyst to the people, right? And we may love fitness and we may love working out and all that other stuff, but that's not like the end game. And if that is like your end game, like I think you need to restructure your end game, because if we're thinking fitness is fitness, then we're missing out on, you know, outside community events. You know, we're missing out on, you know, really see, you know, let's say Lacey walks through the door and Lacey's really bummed out about something, and I'm worrying about, hey, you know, it's 9 o'clock, we gotta get that workout going on. Where maybe Lacey needs just to kind of like step back, and I'm gonna get the class going. You start doing your warm up, and maybe Lacey needs like a pulled aside a little bit and a little bit of a pep talk, you know, because what we don't realize is life goes on outside those walls, and we have zero clue what's going on until we ask, you know. So, you know, when you get a real genuine, you know, family environment, it's because there's genuine effort that's given to invest, you know. So, man, and that's the thing, man. That's the thing I think that matters.
That's so good. And it really does matter, because there's more, like you said, in ending, there's more that's going in outside the walls than what's going on inside, you know, inside the walls, man. That's powerful.
Totally.
So, man, Scott, I want to thank you so much for your time. Right?
You bet, man.
Thank you so much for the gold nuggets that you gave. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I already did in the first part of this intro, man. But
yeah,
can we do this again?
Yo, I'm in, man. I'm in. Let's put that on the calendar.
Awesome, brother. Hey, well, we'll get on the phone and we'll connect, man. And just
sounds
thank you
good.
so much for being on the Fire Hose Live. Scott Rodriguez of Stoneway CrossFit, making it happen.
Yeah, buddy.
Get it, man.
Thanks, man, for having me.
You have a great day.
All right, brother. Late.
Awesome.